Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare এই নাম গায় গোরাচাঁদ মধুর সদে এই নাম গায় গোরাচাঁদ মধুর সদে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে এই নাম গায় গোরাচাঁদ মধুর স্বরে এই নাম গায় গোরাচাঁদ মধুর স্বরে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna.
Okay, I'm on.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
My other call fell through, so
Mangal obeisance, Guru Maharaj.
Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyutama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Okay, we're on verse 29 of the 11th chapter of the first canto, is that right?
Yes, Gurudev.
Ta
Okay.
Putran
Putram,
Ankam
Ankam,
Aropya
Aropya,
Sneha
Sneha,
Snuta
Snuta,
Payodara
Payodara,
Harsha
Hasa,
Vivalitatmanaha
Vivalitatmanaha,
Shishishchur
Sisichu,
Netrajaya
Nitrajaya,
Jalai
Jalai,
Taputram Ankamaropya
Tahaputram Akamaropya,
Sneha Snuta Payodara
Sneha Snuta Payodara,
Harsha Vivalitatmana
Hasa Vivalitatmana,
Shishchur Netrajaya Jali
Sisichu Netrajaya Jalai,
Taputram Ankam Aropya
Taputram Ankam Aropya,
Sneha Snuta Payodara
Sneha Snuta Payodara
Harsha Vivali Tatmana
Asha Vivalitatmana
Sisitshur Netra Jayar Jalai
Sisichu Nitra Jaya Jalai. Prabhu Ganga.
Putramang Kamaropya
Ta Putram Ankam Aropya
Sneha Snuta Payodara
Sneha Snota Prayodara
Asa Vivalitatmana
Asa Vivalitatmana
Sichune Trajai Jalai
Sisitshur
Sisichu
Netra
Nitra Jaya
Jayar
Jalai.
Jalai
Sadev. Ta Putram Ankam Aropya
Saputram Ankam Aropya
Sneha Snota Prayodara
Sneha Snuta Prayodara
Asha Vivalitatmana
Asa Vivalitatmana
Sisichu Nitra Jaya Jalai.
Sichune Trajai Jalai.
Anybody else? Tribhuvanat? You want to chant? Nobody else, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, synonyms. Ta,
Ah,
all of them.
all of them.
Putram, the
Putram,
son.
the
The
son.
son. Ankam,
Ankam,
the lap.
the lap.
Aropya,
Aropya,
having placed on.
haven't placed on.
Sneha Snuta,
Sneha Snuta,
moistened by affection.
moistened by affection.
Payodaraha,
Payodaraha,
breast filled up.
breast filled up.
Harsha, delight.
Asha,
Delight.
delight.
Vivalita Atmana,
Vivalita Atmanaha,
overwhelmed by.
overwhelmed by.
Sisichu, wet.
Sisichu, wet.
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 Jai,
Nitrajai,
from the eyes.
from the eyes.
Jalai,
Jalai,
water.
water.
Translation. The mothers, after embracing their son, sat him on their laps. Due to pure affection, milk sprang from their breasts, and they were overwhelmed with delight, and the tears from their eyes wetted the Lord. Sorry, I'm used to waiting for translation. When Lord Krishna was at Vrindavan, even the cows would become moistened with affection toward him, and he would draw milk from the nipples of every affectionate living being. So what to speak of the stepmothers, who were always already as good as his own mother. Om Agana Timirandasya Ganangana Shalakaya Chaksu Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sajajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sabadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Cha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahavadhanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Tushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Okay, so this is very interesting to understand how personal Krishna is and how everyone is individual. Mayavadis, they can't really understand this, how God can have a family and all these kind of things. One time we were speaking in a class in Lagos University. And I don't know how, but somehow I said Krishna had 16,000 wives. And there was like, they couldn't accept that. And particularly one guy was really outspoken and he was, but it wasn't that he was objecting to the number 16,000, but he was saying God can't be married. And I said, well, why not? If you're in the image of God and you can get married, then why can't God get married? Of course, he couldn't answer that. So Krishna, even though he's the original and everything's coming from him, all of us are expansions of Krishna. So we have the same qualities of personality, individuality. So everyone is, of all the living entities, of which there's no limit, even on Earth, nobody knows, they think they have some idea how many humans there are, but nobody can say for sure, but how many other living entities, nobody can count. But every living entity has a special individual relationship with Krishna, exchange of love. It is some quality that Krishna has, it's only for that one particular person. So that is a really amazing thing about Krishna and what we're getting from the Bhagavatam. So the mothers here, it's talking about Devaki and Rohini. Rohini was there, stepmother, and I don't know what this is. They were living in Dwarka. And even Krishna is completely grown up and he has great grandchildren, but they put him on their lap, like mothers always like to think of their son as their baby. So they put him on their lap. And even though they're old women, the milk started to flow. They have so much love for Krishna. So that, another thing some people might deny, well, that's not possible, but why not? Some of our devotees have experience with cows. They rescue a cow that was, going to be killed. And in America, they milk a cow until the milk is not enough to make money, and then they'll sell her off. So they rescued him. So this cow had not been pregnant, had not for a long time. And after they took care of her so nicely, after something like 6 years, without pregnancy, without a calf, she just started giving milk, just out of love and affection. Now, So the same thing here. These women, they love Krishna so much, and they wanted him to be their baby. So, and their tears are wetting the Lord. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone. I see people crying and the face gets a little wet. But the descriptions we have of these great devotees, especially Lord Chaitanya, but others, the tears are so much that their clothes become wet. They fall on the ground, and the ground is dirt ground and becomes muddy. They become covered with mud just from the tears in their eyes. With the Srinivasacharya, people couldn't believe that one body could produce so much water. He's not a big person, but so from these descriptions, we can understand the personality of God. We can learn about the personality of God. And we all have relationship. We don't know exactly what our relationship is, except that it's a servant. But we may admire those who are Krishna's mother, or those who are Krishna's friends, or the cows, because Krishna loves everyone. And then one might, develop a mood like that. But the main thing is, Sanatana Goswami, when he approached Lord Chaitanya the first time, he said, everybody calls me a learned man, Pandit. And he was extremely learned in politics and in scripture, Vedic scripture, the Bhagavatam. He studied. He was a scholar of Sanskrit. He was a scholar of Parsi language, a few other languages, local Bengali language. Not just speaking, he was really a scholar of scripture and culture. But he said, I don't know who I am. Everybody's calling me Pandit, but I don't know. I'm not wise man. I don't even know who I am. I don't know what my identity is. And then Lord Chaitanya gave that famous answer that we should all study. Jivara Swarpoi Nichara Krishna Das, that the eternal nature of the jiva is a servant of Krishna. Everyone is a servant of Krishna. Prabhupada said, servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Down the line. That's what Lord Chaitanya said. We don't have to, because whatever relationship one has in the spiritual world with Krishna, we don't try to think about that. We're trying to think of how I can serve Krishna. If one is a calf, one is a tree, one is a buzzing bee, one is a peacock, or whatever, all the other kind of birds and parrots, they're all consciously in the spiritual world they're just serving Krishna. They're not thinking, I want to serve in a different way, or why is this person getting what I'm not getting, or they never think like that. They're all completely happy to serve Krishna in their own way. So the neutral people, servants, Krishna has servants, many different kinds of servants. He has friends, they're serving Krishna. Gopis, they love to serve Krishna. That's all they want to do. They want to bring Radha and Krishna together. They want to serve. The parents, of course, really want to serve because they're thinking of Krishna as a small child. They're not motivated. They're not thinking this child's going to grow up and he's going to make a lot of money and I can live nicely. They don't, they're not thinking like that. What will I get back from this child? They want him to be a baby. They want to take care of him. They want to serve. And the gopis are serving in every way, because in each so-called higher way of relating to Krishna, all the others are there. The servant of Krishna sometimes has a neutral relationship. The friend of Krishna is sometimes serving, sometimes Krishna is serving his friends. Service is always there. The parents are serving. Cowherd boys are serving. The friends of Krishna. And the gopis are serving in every way. Sometimes they're motherly. Sometimes they're just friendly. Sometimes they're... And so Krishna with his friends, he'll wrestle with his friends and get beat. The friend will become stronger than Krishna, apparently. In the Vaikuntha, even in the Vaikuntha, there's none of that. It's formalized. It only goes up to servitude. Maybe there's a few that have some tinge of friendship, but mostly it's in service. There's no hugging and dancing and wrestling and joking. They're worshiping. And what to speak of other, paths, other scripture, their God is great, but how great? What is his greatness? Mostly they're thinking of power. Now Krishna is all powerful, that's a fact. No one can defeat him in anything. He can create unlimited universes. He can destroy universes. Atom bomb can't destroy even this planet. It can make a mess, but it can't destroy it. But the people can make a big mess out of the planet, and that's going on today. So devotees, we want to understand that everybody is suffering because they're separated from Krishna. Our own suffering, body and mind, is mostly due to the mind because we're forgetting Krishna and we're being overruled by our false ego. We want to lord it over. We want to get another devotee out of the way because, I want the position. This is not spiritual. In the Vaikuntha, especially in Goloka, Mahavaikuntha, there's no competition. Nobody has a big position, and someone else is trying to get that position, like in the heavenly planets. They compete. The demigods are sometimes fighting with each other. What to speak of in the material world. Indra is always an anxiety about his position. If he sees any yogi or any king or anybody doing great yagyas or tapasya, he gets worried that maybe they're going to win the next election. I never followed an election in any other country, but the American, it's gone ongoing, and the two parties, they somehow, within the party, they fight and insult each other until one of them gets appointed to be the candidate. And then they just concentrate on insulting the other party, the candidate for the other party, because they can't really, everybody knows they're not going to keep their promises anyway. So mostly they just try to say how the other one is going to make a bigger mess. So that, and that filters down even into our Krishna conscious society sometimes. They want a position, but the only valuable position is Krishna Das. So we get initiated. It's not that we get initiated and we get something better than people who are not initiated, because the name we get is Das. And until we fully realize I'm Das, we're going to be in trouble. Prabhupada said, we should see all the other devotees, we should address everybody as Prabhu, Master. We should, and I am Das. We don't put on my own name. I am Sahadev Prabhu. No, I am Das. I am Kusha Das, not Kusha Prabhu. I should say Prabhu. Everyone else should say Prabhu, but no one should think I am Prabhu. We should think everyone else is Prabhu. Prabhu means master. Srila Prabhupada had, because he had completely transcendental vision, he had no problem addressing even Matajis as Prabhu. Nowadays, scholars will say, well, no, that's wrong. That's not Sanskrit. It's not this. It's not that. But Prabhupada didn't see, it wasn't that he was a fool and couldn't know the difference between a man and a woman, but he addressed even women as Prabhu because he saw everyone as Prabhu, as his master. He felt a servant of everyone. I witnessed personally one time Prabhupada was giving class, and he got very, very serious. And all of a sudden he said, I have so many gurus. And the room became very silent. I didn't really ask anybody else about it afterward, but I think everybody was like really bewildered, like, what? And Prabhupada was silent for some time. And he said, my disciples. So he actually saw that all his disciples are his teachers, his gurus. So this is very advanced Mahabhagavad stage. We can't imitate it, but we have more of a tendency to want to think that everybody should see me as Prabhu, for whatever reason. I'm initiated before you, I'm older, I'm your mother, I'm your father, I'm your temple president, I'm whatever reason. We want to think I'm the Prabhu. We want to be called Prabhu. It's become perverted now in ISKCON that they label men Prabhu and women Mataji. And people have forgotten what those words mean. Those words.
What is the difference between?
They have meaning in Sanskrit. Prabhu means master. And Mataji means a respected mother. Mother, not just a woman in general, but because one can think they don't like women or they feel superior to women, they can say Mataji. That's why a lot of our Western women, especially the ones that knew Prabhupada, they don't like that one because people call them Mataji in kind of a insulting way, not respectful. Kali Yuga, many men, they have no respect even for their mother. In Africa, we see it's better than most countries, and still respect for the mother, and some, understanding is there of love. Because the mother's done so much sacrifice. But every woman is a mother. And the you can see that in the villages, 5-year-old girls holding a 2-year-old girl, and treating them like mothers. They all have that propensity. It's nature. So, and the mother should be respected. So here, Krishna has mothers. Now, the previous verse is important, and it's actually good to go over. I was just looking at the purport. The 7 mothers. Some time ago we had Mother's Day. Somehow they, and then people make sad comments, that one day a year you're honoring the mother very nicely, the rest of the year ignoring her. But the mothers, there's 7 mothers, and they all have to be treated very. And the first one is a real mother. That, of course, Then in the village we might have other mothers. Here it doesn't even mention that, but then the wife of the spiritual master, the wife of a brahmana, the wife of the king. That covers a lot of women, And then the cow, the nurse. It doesn't mean like the nurse in the hospital, but of course the nurse in the hospital is like a mother, taking care of sick people. But this means a wet nurse, like some people, the real mother, for one reason or another, cannot breastfeed the baby, so they have other women do that. They're healthy women, big body, that they can feed the baby. So that's a nurse. And in the village, like with Krishna, not just one mother, but many. That's why when Putana came and Putana said, well, I want to nurse this baby, they said, all right. This beautiful woman, they never seen such a beautiful woman. They couldn't understand she was a demon. And so they let her nurse the baby. That's just ordinary thing. Nowadays, at least in some Western countries, people don't even want to nurse their own baby. Trying to promote that more because it's so much natural and healthy. But here, even the old ladies, you can imagine how old Devaki was, and Mohini, because this is Krishna. This is when Krishna was quite old, So it's many, many years there, but they're still producing milk. Their body can still do that. That's out of love. So we can learn. We should learn. Krishna is a person. We're all persons. And we have service for Krishna. That's why he appears as a deity, comes in the deity form, so we can serve him. Prabhupada said, we're doing just like Mother Yasoda. We're cooking for Krishna, we're feeding him at a certain time. We're worried it's time now. Krishna must be hungry. A good pujari is thinking like that. Now I have to feed Krishna, I have to wake him up, I have to put him to sleep. We have to take care of Krishna. And I have to dress him and bathe him and get him some nice new clothes and all these things. The pujari is thinking like that. He said, it's the same thing Mother Yasoda was doing, but we're different. Our consciousness is not the same. We may not be doing it out of pure spontaneous love, doing it because it's our spiritual duty, or because it's the way I can live in the temple. But when we come to the point of love, we're chanting with love, we're dressing the deity, cooking with love, taking prasadam with love, everything with love for Krishna, thanking Krishna for everything. Be thankful. That's the most important thing. There's no, for an ingrate, there's no prayaschita, you know what an ingrate is? It's someone who's not grateful. Like sometimes people, they just throw out their mother, take all the money and leave their mother somewhere with nothing. These are really bad sons. And this does go on. So it's very sinful, and there's no prayaschita. There's nothing that they can do to counteract it. Every other sin has a counteraction, but for an ingrate, there's no counteraction. It's going to suffer unless it becomes a devotee. Someone becomes a devotee, then they can make up for, any amount of sins. But then we should never think, okay, like some Christians think, Sahajis, Jesus died for my sins, so I don't have to worry. Then you shouldn't worry because Jesus' suffering's on your head. So an intelligent person thinks, well, I've seen some Christians, I have to take up the cross, I have to suffer, I have to get out and preach, I have to, devotees think like that also, that Krishna has given me so much. He's given us a guru, and the guru has given me Krishna, and we have association of devotees, and we have the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we have all these facilities. So we have to pay back. We want to pay back. We want to do something for Krishna. That's the way any good person thinks. Someone does something for you, you want to pay back. You want to do something for them. So think of that when you go out, Be respectful to all Matajis, all women, and all people, animals. Vaishnava is offering respects to everyone, animals, dogs, every people. The earth now is a big consideration. Men have been exploiting the earth for so long and still doing it worse and worse. And they just invent bigger tools to dig up the earth. I saw that in Accra. Walk up the road there and there's some sort of mining going on, and there's just a parade of big trucks full of something going down the road all day long, ruining the road, polluting everything. For a while it was back down inside getting the sand, and now it's something else. That's going on all over the world, digging up just to get a little gold out or a little some kind of valuable mineral. They can make batteries for their cars, and not caring about replacing, not thinking about, cutting down all the trees, polluting all the water, overworking the land, growing the same crops all the time, using so many chemicals. They're not respecting the earth, which is our mother. We say Mother Earth because she's providing everything for our eating. The mother feeds the child, and the Mother Earth is providing all the grains and vegetables and fruits and everything that grows. Then even if someone is a meat eater, the animal that they eat is eating grains and grass and leaves, whatever. Not so many people eat the meat-eating animals. They're nasty, but, so Mother Earth is providing all these things in the water, and it's amazing she keeps, in spite of how much she's being mistreated, she keeps doing that. So let us remember, Krishna, these pastimes are very sublime. We've all experienced, if we haven't experienced ourselves, when we meet, especially family members and someone we haven't seen for a long time, it's very emotional, You can see that at airports. People are waiting for someone to arrive, and they're so excited. They're waiting for something, someone to leave. They're crying, but not for Krishna, for sense gratification. But devotees are feeling all the same emotions and the same anxieties, but for Krishna. You want to take like an ordinary mother, she's worried about her child, how to protect the child, how to feed the child, how, so many efforts they have to make to protect children nowadays in America. In some neighborhoods in America, they even had bulletproof shirts for children. So, because when they walk into school, maybe the bullets are flying, even they're not shooting at them, but they're not good shots, so the bullet meant for something else, it's hitting children. So mothers are always worried how to get the vaccination or whatever, how to protect my child, where is my child? And make sure he's getting good food and shelter. So devotees are thinking the same way about Krishna. And the main thing we're thinking is how I can tell other people about Krishna. We can connect all these people that they're just bewildered, they're just racing around, trying to get things that are temporary, give them only a little satisfaction for a few minutes, and then they're again frustrated. So we want to save them. This is, the devotees feel that way. In any religion, the Christian preachers, they want to save people. They want the Muslims. They think they're saving people. If they get fanatic, it's no good. If we get crazy also, it's no good. But we understand people are suffering. They think they're suffering poverty. They think they're suffering this and that, bad government. But no, they're suffering their own karma. And if we can rise above it, we can, rise above the modes of nature, Krishna says. This material Vedas are mostly the modes of nature, and we have to rise above it. Trigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtrai Gunya Bhavarjuna. The three Vedas deal mainly with the modes of nature, but rise above it, Arjuna. Take shelter of me, think of me. It's very easy to think of Krishna. Get out, chant the holy name, let everyone hear. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pray to Krishna, how can we distribute more books? How can we, get out more often? And all devotees understand, we go out, we spend a few hours joyfully singing and dancing, and Krishna reciprocates. We become very happy. More people come to the temple. Devotees quit fighting with each other. They're too busy chanting. The idle mind is a devil's workshop. So if we're not working and not busy, then the devil will take over. Maya will take over. And we'll try to think of sense gratification. So usually we get a lot of questions. I don't know, today there's not so many as other days. Let's see what.
I have one question.
All right. Okay.
Okay, in the purport, Prabhupada was talking about, translation, how the mothers embrace Krishna and they were happy, they will have more affection. So my question is, the Vedas say that a man should have a son that will bury him, that will bear the family name. But it seems the women love the sons more than the man who the son is bearing his name. So why is the women who the son is not bearing her name be the ones to love the sons more than the father who the son is bearing his name?
I don't know. They love in a different way. Of course, motherly love is different. Father's love.
I think I heard somewhere in the scripture, when a man don't have a son, he will go to hell because the son has to take care of the father at death. But in other way, we see that the women love, even here in Africa also, the women love the sons more than the father should love the son. So why is the son not bearing the woman's name instead of the father, who doesn't show love?
The mother's, more attached because she had to, carry the child in the womb and go through different things, the pregnancy and giving birth and taking care of the baby all the time. So they get a different kind of attachment than the father.
Thank you.
But it's not exactly, at least Bhagavatam, like a sannyasi who never gets married. It's not like he's got to get married and have a son in order to go to heaven or something. But somehow people think that it's one way you can pay the debt to your ancestors is by having your own children and carrying on the line. But, people have to do it responsibly. It's a big thing now. One state in America, they practically banned abortion completely. And so there's so much opposition to that. And the women are saying, but and somebody blames the women, well, why they're getting pregnant. But it's the men are, like one woman said, one man, he can make 100 women pregnant, and not take care of any of the children. Right? But a woman gets pregnant and she has to raise a child. And it's a lot of work, so they get, very much attached. But hopefully the men would love the child also and want to protect the child and teach him properly how to be a proper person in society and take care of his mother and all these other things. But nowadays, so many men, they don't do that. They just make them pregnant and leave. Sometimes all over the place, many babies, and thinking they're very powerful, like the monkeys in Vrindavan. You never see a monkey couple. You see boy monkeys chasing women to make them pregnant, and you see the mother monkeys with their babies, but you never see the men taking care of the, men are just running around looking for another one to impregnate. So we got too many men like that today. Very responsible.
Thank you, Gurudev. Another question from Sadhu Prabhu.
The thing about that you have to have a son. In Vrindavan, Rupa Vilas was telling me, there's so many families that really suffer. They have a lot of daughters, but they have this idea that they can't go to heaven unless they have a son. So they just keep having children, even though they don't have the money to take care of them or anything, having to get a son, The daughter can do the rituals also, but they don't know that somehow the dirty, nasty men have, put down the position of a woman so much. All right.
Yes, Gurudev. Another question from Sadhu Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much. Good to see you. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I just listened to a story Srila Prabhupada was narrating, and he was talking about one time how Rupa Goswami was contemplating how he could get some foodstuff to cook for Sri Sanatana Goswami. And then a beautiful young girl brought him foodstuff. And when Sanatana Goswami came back, he told Rupa Goswami, that was Radharani. How can you accept service from Radharani? We do not accept service. We only give. So my question is, does a devotee commit an offense if unknowingly a senior devotee serves such a junior devotee? I mean, if knowingly the junior devotee accepts service from the senior devotee, is an offense. But if unknowingly, like in the case of Rupa Goswami, at the time he didn't know this was Radharani. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's not an offense, but there's a relationship that's so advanced. He just wanted to serve Sanatana Goswami in that way, and then the girl came and gave him all the stuff. So he just took it as Krishna's mercy, which it was. So I don't think we have to worry that Radharani will come and personally take care of us like that. But everything we have is just Krishna giving it. If you have money, if you have a job, if you have anything, it's all given by Krishna. It's not by our hard work or something, but Krishna is providing for everybody. So on our level, if we're not thankful and thanking Krishna and trying to reciprocate, then we get in trouble. We get a debt. We have so many debts. It's described in the Bhagavatam. We have debts to the forefathers, to the ancestors, to the demigods, to the, everyone practically. And we can't pay them all back one by one. We can't even know all the people we owe to. People have done something for us. We don't even know about it. But if we surrender to Krishna and you're giving everything to Krishna, then Krishna takes care of all the debts. And if we're offending devotees, which, is a natural tendency in Kali Yuga to be offensive, to try to establish ourselves as superior. So when we're in the society of devotees, then we're offending devotees, and it's risky. So we have to be careful, to be grateful. Without the devotees, where would we be? What kind of kirtans would we have? What kind of temples would we have? We wouldn't have any books. Devotees produce all the books. Not only that Prabhupada wrote the books, but devotees had to produce them. A lot more people had to work before the book is in our hands. So now it's December, and everybody should be trying to distribute more books. Distribute some books. All right, this Christmas marathon. Now it's called the Prabhupada Marathon. They give it a new name because some countries, they hardly know what is Christmas. Christmas is just a time now in America, all the shops are advertising 60% off, and you get people to buy things. That's all it is. Does that satisfy your question?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Well, I have another question on the Christmas marathon.
Okay.
You mentioned that it's now called Prabhupada Marathon. Sometimes it was called December Marathon, Christmas Marathon during the time of Prabhupada. Why is it not changed to Prabhupada Marathon? And it's not done every month, only on December period. Why Prabhupada Marathon?
Yeah, because it's for Prabhupada. It's Prabhupada books and it's for the pleasure of Prabhupada.
Okay.
Maharaj, I have one more question, please. I have a question about, I've heard many devotees say that Vani is more important than Vapu. But this particular chapter we're discussing, we're seeing how the Dwaraka residents were so much happy just hearing that Krishna was coming back, where they would see him eye to eye. So, if not all of them, most of them are pure devotees who can serve Krishna, whether Krishna is with them physically or not. But when Krishna was physically going back to Dwaraka, they were all extremely happy. And we're reading how they prepared receiving him. So I do not understand why devotees would say that the Vani is more important than Vapu, when the Vapu is what produced the Vani.
Well, because the Vani is what guides us, and the Vani is always there. The Vapu, very few people can have the Vapu at the same time. And even any one individual can't have it all the time. One way or another, have to part, either for some other service or for death, whatever reason. But the Vapu or the Vani is always there. That's why Prabhupada said my books are better than I am, because he put his best time of day and his deepest meditation into his books. But not only that, but millions of people all over the world, or all over the universe, can have the book at the same time. And even 100 years after departure of the Vapu, the Vani will be there, 1,000 years. And unlimited people can get that association, which on the spiritual level is not different. Is that all right? That's a simple start. But we need the Vani, otherwise, somebody can be with the Vapu, but if he's not hearing properly from the Guru, he'll make offense. He won't understand that. He'll think the Guru is an ordinary person. The Guru needs me. I have to do everything for him. But if they're hearing the spiritual side, then they'll understand. So it's most important. Vani.
Yeah. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for your class.
Right? Anyone else?
I don't think there's anyone has any question. No hand is up.
See, Kusha's beard is still going very nicely. Giving
My-
bugs.
my beard.
The yogis grow a beard, they don't comb it out and wash it and everything. So it's full of bugs and everything. They never cut it and trim it. They just let it keep growing. Then it's tapasya. Anyway, it's modern style. So thank everybody for coming. Didn't get,
Thank you very much.
we didn't get Janet Chakshu's group today.
No, they didn't come. They had to
She
work.
is coming back to Africa. We had a little hang up with a canceled flight. So we're getting that together so he can go.
Tribhuvat is here.
Huh?
Tribhuvat is here also today.
He's online here, but he's going back to Africa. He's
Okay.
trying to help with the book distribution. So I hope everybody is trying to think how to distribute books. It's never easy anywhere. Most people don't want it. And we always think this place is not good, but it's everywhere the same. But if we're determined, and we can see the history of even materialistic people, so all these big, these big sports stars, you see them and think, oh, they're just naturals, but maybe they had some natural talent, but they also practiced day and night, so many hours a day. They just practiced and practiced in order to get to where they are. So much tapasya. Prabhupada in India wasn't getting much support, living with sometimes no food. Some days just trying to get the book printed, paper. When he got to America also, he had to move around, didn't have his own place to stay. Twice, I think he had everything stolen from his apartment. But he was happy because he was trying to serve his guru. So that's how we had to keep going like that. So we're very fortunate in Africa. We have so many people who don't know Krishna. Let's think how to get it through to them, how to make, farms. If everybody every devotee in Africa, we have a lot of farmland. If we just get out there and really get to work and grow all our own food and start, organic restaurants and shops, everybody could be completely happy, wouldn't need any money. People would be giving him money. All right. Okay,
Yes,
thank you all. Is that?
Eh?
Then somebody, Constance. That was talking Constance.
Constance, you have a question? Unmute yourself, please.
Not today, thank you.
All right.
Where are you?
In the UK,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Mama
Okay.
eating gum.
Have a baby also, huh? Where in
Sorry.
UK?
Southeast of England. So Hemel Hempstead, that's the town I live in. Yeah.
Now you're outside somewhere.
Sorry?
Where are you, in a shopping mall?
No. I brought my children to swimming lessons, so we are at the sports center at the moment.
Okay, I see the sign. All right. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And
Now,
Gurudev,
you're
ask
taking-
everybody to kindly unmute yourself. Thank Hare Krishna to Maharaj for coming, please.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Rama, Rama.
Auranga.
Very nice. Dr. Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Auranga.
Chakrapataru Vischa Kripa Sunivasa Vascha Patitanam
Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,